Was there a time in your life when you lost someone that gave you that great insight into all of this, or have you just given it a lot of thought, or?
Well, it's a good question. I'm 64 years old, and that's not a credential, but it does give me some time and grade. When I was in my early 20s, we lost my brother. He was 2 years younger and committed suicide. And I wasn't living at home at the time, so coming back home in the immediacy of a winter day and having my brother gone, and my family was there, and a woman who was my fiance, now my bride of 40-some years, we didn't deal with his loss. We dealt with what the next thing was, and it was 20 degrees below outside. We needed to find somebody to dig a grave and have a funeral, and I needed to go back to college, which is how we handled it. It took me 7 years driving along a deserted road in the middle of Iowa, snow-filled tundra, eye to eye, horizon to horizon, snow, blanket. And I'm thinking about my brother Brian. I'm driving along, and I'm just, it'd be good to tell him about it. And then I thought, Brian. So I pulled over to the side of the road, and I just sat there and dealt with the loss, the robbery, the sense of denial, and that he gave to us, to me, but also that now at that point my children, young children, would not know this young man who was their uncle. 18 years later, we sat down with my mother and father, my surviving brother, sister, and I, and our spouses, and my 2 adult children sat down with my father and mother and opened up 2 boxes of my brother's memorabilia, passed them around the living room, and each one was like an icon. It was symbolic, and more than that, it was tangible evidence of how this, at that point, would have been a man in his 50s, how this 18-year-old had decided to take over the things of his life that he couldn't manage. So yeah, we've dealt with it, and even now, I have grandchildren. I'd like them to know my brother. He was a good guy, and very unique in our family, which now would have been the seasoning that our family would have benefited from.